Você se lembra do compromisso assumido no curso intermissivo? Já pensou que a sua programação existencial pode ter impacto não somente em você e em seu grupo, mas no planeta? Os empreendimentos para superar os desafios evolutivos exigirão adaptação e inovação interassistencial no planeta em transformação. Intermissivista, qual seu empreendimento evolutivo? Seja a transformação que o planeta precisa. Seja bem-vindo. Este evento é para você. Participe. Saiba mais em empreendedorismoevolutivo.iipc.org.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon from Brazil. Good morning or good evening for where you are. Today, this next live international debate of IIPC, International Institute of Projectiology and Conscientiology, will present the subject, Self-Care, a Dynamic Approach to Integral Health. My name is Luciano, a volunteer and teacher from IIPC since 2012. So, let's ask the authors of also the book, Self-Care, Dynamic Approach to Integral Health, Fernanda Cabral Schveitzer. Welcome, Fernanda.
Hi, Luciano. Hi, everybody.
Oh, very nice. It's nice to have you here in the IPC debate. So, Fernanda Cabral Schveitzer was born on September 12, 1981, and currently resides in Foz do Iguaçu, a city in southwest Brazil. She is a physician, a specialist in occupational medicine from the Brazilian Medical Association, National Association of Occupational Medicine, and a graduate in medicine from Federal University of Santa Catarina. She has been the manager of the Occupational Medicine Division at Itaipu Binacional, a huge hydroelectric energy company in Foz do Iguaçu, since 2009. She has been also a volunteer of Conscientiology since 1999, a Conscientiology teacher of Conscientiology since 2001, and is currently a volunteer of International Association for Expansion of Conscientiology, AIEC. Okay, next I will welcome the other guest, Mariana Cabral. Hello, Mariana. She's the sister of Fernanda. It's nice to have you here. Mariana Cabral Schweitzer was born on July 4th, 1984, and currently resides in the city of São Paulo, Brazil. She is a nurse and university lecturer with a postdoctorate School of Nursing at University of São Paulo. She earned a PhD in Science, double degree, University of São Paulo and Catholic University of Portugal, and is a Master in Nursing from Federal University of Santa Catarina. Specialized in acupuncture, factor of health technology, Shandong in partnership with Shandong University. She's also specialized in public health and graduated in nursing. She's currently an assistant professor in the Department of Preventive Medicine at the Paulista Medical School at the Federal University of São Paulo. And she has been a volunteer of Conscientiology since 2013, a Penta practitioner since 2019, and is currently a volunteer in International Union of Conscientiocentric institutions. So, welcome you, and you introduce the subject for now for us to start. But I would like to say our principle of disbelief, don't believe anything, not even what you hear in this webinar, experiment, have your own experience. Okay? In this live debate, Mariana and Fernanda, the authors of the book I said before, are going to share the individual experience and knowledge in self-care and overall health through approaches found in Western health, integrative, complementary therapies, and consciential health. I'm saying about this book here that is also translated to English and is available at the Amazon website. So, can go on for our first question for you, but since you can say something before the question and for the public, feel free to ask any questions in the chat that the monitors or the teachers will pass for us to debate and answer properly. Okay?
Sure.
Thank you.
So, I would like to introduce some questions for us to warm up our debate, right? What were the motivations at the beginning of your research of self-care, the ideas you brought together, and the inspirations to write the book Self-Care, A Dynamic Approach to Integral Health?
It's a great question to start, and for us, it's a privilege. It's very good to be here and sharing this book and these ideas with everyone here, because me and Fernanda, as you said before, we are sisters. So we grew up together. We are from the same city. It's in a small city in the south of Brazil. It's an island. And we graduated there at the same period of time. She was in medicine, I was in nursing school. So we shared a lot of experiences about healthcare within our families and within our professors and colleagues during the university period. So after we finished our formation, our studies, we understood that what we did, because of our exposition at Conscientiology studies too, Fernanda, she was 17 when she first learned about Conscientiology, and I was 14 because I was her sister, so we started to talk about these ideas. So we did grow up in this place where we shared Conscientiology ideas, healthcare ideas, self-care ideas within our family. And in a certain time, we thought it was the best idea to start to put this in the paper. Especially when I finished my PhD studies, I told Fernanda, we need to start writing because we have something here that maybe can help others. So we started to write the book in 2015. And last year, we presented the book in Portuguese. And this year, we present the book in English. So it was a great experience. What do you think, Fernanda?
Yes, and this idea of writing our perspectives of health began also with the experience of sharing the ideas of integrative health with our family, friends, patients. And for us, it was very natural to combine different perspectives, different paradigms, worldviews, to understand better a situation a person is living. And for some people, it was very insightful and very transformative. And this impact of watching people change their minds, their own health and care with new perspectives helped us to see the value, the importance of these ideas we are practicing together. Then we decided to organize this in a way people don't need to connect directly to us or be in Brazil or be in our city to talk with us. They could just get all this information and apply by their own. And this is a process of organizing in words, in a process, and also in a method we are going to share with you here today, how to make this transformation by yourself.
Very nice, Fernanda and Mariana. So let's see what you have to tell us in your presentation. Go on.
Thank you, Luciano. We'll share some slides just to help everybody to understand what are the main ideas we present in the book, but also in our website, you can access many videos and informations about. But it's very important for us to show everyone what we have been working. So I'll just share our slides now, and I will first like to tell you that this is a book placement we did because me and Fernando had the opportunity to go to India in this first semester of the year. So we did this special bookmark when we were there, and we had the opportunity to, when we did the translation of the book to English, we had the opportunity to work with some translators and reviewers that helped us to shape the best terms, the best way to present these ideas for a non-Brazilian public that maybe it's not so familiar with some terms or not so familiar with conscientiology or with some of the terms we use. So let's see how you feel about everything. As Luciano said before, please be aware of the principle of disbelief. Don't believe in anything, not even what you hear in this webinar. Experiment, have your own experiences. And to us, self-care are actions. There is a movement there. Actions developed by a person for the benefit of their own life, health, and well-being, and that contribute to their development and aging. So maybe you are here because you're interested in self-care. Maybe you want to do something. Maybe you are wondering what are the pillars of self-care. And there's a great information about the pillars of self-care. And they include knowledge and health literacy. They include physical activity. They include good hygiene. We've seen this so important, especially now with the pandemic. And these pillars, they have been around us and telling us that what is the best way to take care of our own health. But when we integrate the 7 pillars of self-care with integral health and with the conscientiology paradigm, we are able to understand self-care as a triad. And this triad, it combines the self-knowledge, understanding oneself and the personal health framework, their worldview on health, a critical view of the knowledge and health technologies offered, and the good use of available health resources. So techniques, practices, and professionals. So me and Fernanda, we thought it was very interesting to understand self-care in this triad. So what is for you? How do you understand health? How do you use all the resources available? They are different from every country, every city, every culture. And what is your self-knowledge? How much you understand about your personal health framework? Because as we know, everybody's different. Maybe what is health for you or what is care for you is different. So we invite everybody here to just take like a minute to think, okay, what is health for me? It's when I get a very good habit of sleeping the right time, wake up in the right time, or when I take care of my nutrition, or when I do exercise. Is this health for me? How do I take care of this? Because these are concepts that have changed over time. When we look at this timeline of health and disease and care, we can see how it changed from the old ages to contemporary age. So if in the beginning of times, when we think about Asia and India and China and their traditional medicines, we have concepts of health and disease as movement, including energy, including taking care of your body and your mind, maybe doing some meditation, acupuncture, as these resources for health and care. But as we move along this timeline, we can see that this change when we get to Greece, and then we understand the magical thinking, and hygiene is one of the important concepts here when we are in Greece. Or, of course, panacea, the one pill, the one thing that we can do that can make us feel health all the time. So it's not long anymore. It's not anymore as a movement, but something that we really want to have. And especially when we are in the Middle Ages, when we have religion very strong, especially in Europe and going other places, we see a a concept of health as a good thing and a disease as a bad thing, especially in this period of time. And not many people had this idea and had access to information. So they would be understanding disease as a punishment or something that they did bad, and that's why they would feel bad. And to be able to change this idea, we have seen the Cartesian influence and the Renaissance, where we can see that the body can be understood as a machine. Maybe you understand your body as a machine with every piece having to work very exactly in the same movement. But what happened in this period is that they cut the head. We do not consider the emotions, the feelings, the heart. In this period of time, we only consider ourselves as a machine that needs to be replaced if something's not working. And this was very good if diseases would be understood as single cause models, one thing that would occur and then cause a disease. But especially when we understand many chronic diseases, we understand there is a multi-cause models with many things influencing an appearing of a disease. And this is especially true for the contemporary age, where we still have infectious diseases that we understand why they occur, but we also have chronic diseases and different cultural and social backgrounds that influence that some diseases happen more in some cities or in some places than others. And in this area where we understand the multi-cause models, we have many aspects that we can interfere to promote health. And this has been the movement of organizations like the World Health Organization since the 1970s to promote traditional medicines, integrative health, and different approaches of health that include sometimes ideas that it was first said in the beginning of this timeline. And what we understand today is the importance of One Health. It's important to take care of the health of human beings, the health of animals, and the health of the planet. So in this way, we can guarantee and promote health for everybody. So maybe here, some of you are thinking, okay, where do my concept of health integrates this timeline? Do I consider energy? Do I consider the environment as important aspects of my health and my care? And this is quite important when we think about this concept of integrative health. And this is a very important concept because it invites us to bring conventional and complementary approaches together in a coordinated way, where integrative health emphasizes multimodal interventions, which are two or more interventions, such as conventional medicine, lifestyle changes, physical rehabilitation, psychotherapy, and complementary health approaches, for example, meditation, and various combinations with an emphasis on treating the whole person rather than, for example, one organ system. So this invitation that integrative health brings to us, it helps to understand the self-care triad we talked in the beginning of this conversation. And we have many complementary therapies that have been in use in the whole world, as this atlas of the World Health Organization points out. These are the 9 most common ones: acupuncture, Ayurvedic medicine from India, chiropractic, phytotherapy, the use of medicinal plants, and many others. And we like to point out here that in Brazil, we have a national policy in our national health system that includes 29 complementary therapies and many other practices within these complementary therapies to treat the human being as a whole in an integrative way. And this has been occurring since 2006. And today we have this for free for everybody that lives in Brazil and want to be using this practice, so they can go to primary healthcare units, hospital, specialized centers where they have access for acupuncture, for homeopathy, or for other practices. And this is a movement that is happening together with the growing body of knowledge about consciousness, especially because here we can talk about this movement that includes the consciential paradigm, and also many other institutions that helps us to understand how to study energy and how to consider this in our own healthcare. So Fernanda, you can talk a little bit about here now and help them to understand what we bring here, these ideas?
Sure. The idea is comprehend these health concepts and the care, self-care, in different perspectives and paradigms. Because if, as Mariana said, these concepts changed in the history, and now if we admit some other particularities or realities, then this health concept changes now again. And if we look, for example, for the consciential paradigm, the paradigm from conscientiology, we admit the idea and we experience this reality of different bodies, a physical, an energetic, an emotional or spiritual body, and a mental body. That together connects, and we call this holosoma. Also, we experience the multidimensionality or the multiple dimensions, different dimensions, physical, non-physical, spiritual, energetic dimensions that connect and interact in our expressions. And the third pillar, the idea of multiple lives, that we have different lives. We die and live, and we have a whole history connected in different moments of our own experience. These all together are elements, fundamental ideas of consciential paradigm. And also in this study of conscientiology, here we are showing a picture from a book that is available in English and Spanish too, Conscientiology, a brief introduction to the science of conscientiology. If you look in Amazon, you can find it. And in this perspective, we also have the projectiology, a science who studies the phenomena, the spiritual, parapsychic experience we can also have. We have here an image, a photo, not exactly a photo, but an image of a person that look to herself sleeping in bed. So the body is sleeping, but the person is outside of the body, acting or expressing themselves in another body, a spiritual body. And why this is important for the idea of self-care and health? Because if I admit I'm not only this physical body, so what am I? What impacts and interacts with my physical health? What is this health I'm admitting here? And now we're going to see a proposal of this concept, the concept of consciential health. The health that is not the health for a body or a mind, but a health that you can apply to this whole idea of the consciential paradigm. A health that consciential health is a natural condition, dynamic stage of equilibrium, or the quality of consciousness regarding their personal well-being, that holosomatic homeostasis as the equilibrium or the harmony of my different bodies, of my holosoma, and also the harmonious relationships with holotosens, thoughts, sentiments, and energies we use this to express ourselves. So this relationship with the unicity of tosens, of other people, other places, other spaces, we can be in harmonious relationship with this, constituting a reserve for self-evolution. And how do I do this? Okay, this is a very big consciential health idea, How do I practice this? How do I organize my own history of health? One tool we can show you here is the tool of timeline. We can have a personal timeline of self-care that anybody can also download from our site, from our blog. People can show here for you our blog link. So you can go there and download this tool when you're going to remember about your own health history. How do you describe your general health? What illnesses or problems you can report? Medical practice you've tried, you use it. Some your mom or your dad or your family choose it for you. Some you have yourself choose it. What the memories you have from that time, and how do you see yourself in this stage of life? And we can think about this in childhood, adolescence, adulthood, third age, fourth age, and or if you prefer to organize in a different way, it's up to you. The important idea here is to connect to your own history, to remember how was my health when I was a kid. What problems did I had? Why did I have this kind of problems? This is a family a family problem, or it's different? Because if we understand this better, this is the self-knowledge, the first step on our self-care triad. And then we have also another tool we will show you that organized a proposal of a method. We bring, me and Mariana, when we begin to organize these ideas, we thought, how can it be more practical, more didactic? And we thought about a method in 4 steps. The first step, find. Second, embrace. Third, move. And fourth, again. So let's get in contact with this. This find step is finding out the symptoms, this discomfort. What's going on? What's not okay? What are you working for? What are you looking for? These discomforts, feelings, anxieties, diseases, illnesses, imbalances, or your interests, desires. It's not just a negative. It's also a positive perspective. What are you looking for? I just want to be more happy, complete, connected. It's important too. And also find out health professionals who can help you in this process, models, health systems, health rationalities that can guide this idea to organize your own care. And also find out groups, virtual communities, people related to the same problem or to the same interests. This is the first place we must connect. What's going on? What I'm looking for. Then we go to the second step, embrace. Embrace is about comprehending or understanding such symptoms, changes, discomforts, whatever is going on, without judgment or blame, in order to understand oneself and foster self-care. It includes ethics, gratitude, compassion, forgiveness. It's about admitting this disease, this situation, this desire, it's yours. It's not a part of you. It's not outside. And to comprehend how we got here. What was this path that I'm walked on that got me in this place now, with this problem, with this situation? And this step is very important because what's the most common posture or idea when we got with an illness? to cut it off, to silence the symptoms, to get a pill, to disconnect, to be cured, to be good again, and not accepting the transformations the body makes, or ourselves, our minds, our feelings show to us. So when we do this embracing step, we have perspective, our relation with this disease. And this is very important to do the next step, the move step, the third one. Because if I want to cut it off, I will never want to really comprehend it, to really make changes in my own life. It's easier to get far from it. And if I admit it's my situation, my experience, then I maybe make some moves, small movements, the third step, to rearrange, to recycle, to make changes of the symptoms, difficulties, discomforts, illness. And this idea of move, this change starts by choosing new goals and targets in relation to the 5 health perspectives we are provoking here: physical, energetic, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And look, we didn't choose the word cure, because it's not exactly about cure we are talking. Oh, it would be wonderful if we go and get the cure, but sometimes it's a chronic disease, sometimes it's a long way, and we don't do this just because we want to get free of it. We do it because it's our own experience being transformed by reality we are connected. And the fourth step, that is again, because sometimes we move, we change, we get a new perspective of health, we get okay with this situation, but somehow in another moment this gets a little unbalanced again, and we need to begin again these steps, find out what's going on, why I'm not okay again, what I'm maybe denying, not wanting to embrace, which movements can I make, and to think about beginning it again. We organized a tool to get it in a more practical way, a canvas, self-care canvas, also available on our site for download. And we have some questions to address these 4 steps. Define about what feelings I want to address, what therapies can help me, what process don't seem to work. Oh, I've tried already to wake up earlier, but I get more tired during the days. It doesn't work for me for helping with my problem. So the embrace, the move, the again steps. So we have also questions in the embrace. What's the meaning of this situation in my life? Why it bothers me so much? Or why it could be it makes me feel so limited? Or what are the opportunities it brings to me? Sometimes when a friend say, oh, it's good you are sick because you need to look at this. No, in a very tough way, because friends sometimes are tough with us. And maybe they are doing this question: what opportunities are you living now? What's going on? What's new? The move step about changes that can help me to reach my goal, the possible solutions, the impacts. How do I measure these movements I'm making? And again, how do I measure that I reached my goal? And also, which signs that show me it's time to start a new cycle? to begin again. So this idea, to help us to understand a little bit more, Mariana, would you please show us a completed one, a fulfilled?
Yes, we'll take just a few minutes to invite everybody that maybe they can download the self-care canvas and start to fill up their questions and their answers about self-care, and to show them how it can be a task that is possible. We shared this one that is being filled with someone that has a common problem, that is a headache. And then this person start to answer what therapies did help. And then she included acupuncture, phytotherapy, physiotherapy, shiatsu. These are complementary therapies that have a lot of evidence about headaches. And then she also included what situations or strategies did not work. For example, medicines that helped her sleep, but did not help to, work with the crisis. So this was the first step, as Fernanda was telling us, the find step. And this can be very hard. That's why we invite everybody to fill the timeline too, also because they can find what is exactly that they want to work in their self-care. And then I can move to the embrace step, where this person, she noticed that when she gets a headache, maybe she was not sleeping so well, or she was not working because she had a headache. So what was going on? And maybe this was an opportunity for her to review her work and sleep routine. So yeah, maybe, as Fernanda said, a friend could point it out, or maybe with these questions, you can point it out some possibilities with the situation. Instead of not only wanting to cut off the headache, maybe she tried to understand what would be interfering with everything. And then she could go and move to the next step, where she started to organize a routine of sleep, the maximum of hours of sleep and the maximum of hours of working. And then she started to do a simple agenda of this organization, and then she started to see less TV before bed, start to negotiate deadlines. That's something very hard, especially when you are homework all the time these days within the pandemic. How do you organize deadlines? And also she started to record, and she started to compare the headache crisis with the proportion of work and sleep. And then she realized that when she had a good routine, she was having less headache crisis, and she could finish her daily tasks. And this was very good when she started to see what was how she could measure her goal. She could see that she finished her schedule of the day, and this makes you feel very good when you had some schedule and then you finish those tasks. And then she could understand what was time to start again, because she was having a good amount of sleep and she was having a good work routine, but she was waking up a little tired or with some pain in her face or in her back that invited her to start a new cycle. So this self-care canvas, we have been working with undergrad students from medicine or nursing courses here in Brazil, in the Federal University of São Paulo. And we are also working with healthcare professionals. They are being invited in our course about self-care integral health to also answer this self-care canvas. So here we invite everybody that wants to work within this area, and you can find all this information and these tools in our blog, as we said before. And I think Luciano maybe have some questions for us now. Thank you for giving us this time to explain these ideas and these tools, and I hope people can find very interesting for them, and we are here to help them.
And if everybody who wants to fulfill their own canvas and send it to us, you have our contact in our blog. Please send us. We have also worked with these tools in conscientiology workshops. It was very insightful.
Very nice, Mariana and Fernanda. So, in fact, we have some questions here for the people that are assisting us. I will read for you to answer. Fernanda and Mariana, could you share with us some projective experience related to the subject or to the writing process of the book?
We sometimes we don't live in the same city, Mariana and I, and sometimes we spend the whole day working in a book, and some question doesn't have answers. And I always say to Mariana, when I wake up, sometimes I wake up with new ideas, with new answers to apply to a book or to a situation. And I believe it was 2 or 3 months ago, we assisted a family person, and we didn't know exactly what was going on. And the person had a problem in her lungs. Our hypothesis was that. And in the other day, when I wake up, I don't remember that night. But when I woke up, I said, Mariana, I think I know. Ask the person if he's using this substance, this medicine. And Mariana asked, and the person said, yes, I use it a lot. And we said, so please stop it. And what I'm trying to say, Luciano, we have different styles or perspectives of connecting to our out-of-body experiences. In my case, it's much more common to wake up with insights than exactly to remember the whole experience. But I wake up with answers, and these answers are probably, in my experience and my hypothesis, a way to remember the research I made during that night. And I believe some of our watchers will probably have this experience too. And Mariana, would you like to share something?
Yes, it's very interesting because as Fernanda's saying, she has these insights and then she calls me and then I ask the patient and it's like perfect and we continue with the treatment. But for me, usually when I call her, it's just say, oh, we have been working this night. I remember we were doing this because I remember most of nights, and then I have my diary where I write down the projections experience I have during the night. And then I call her to say, you know, we were in this place and treating these people and having this experience. And sometimes, a lot of times, she takes care of me. And then I remember her giving me something during the night, and then I wake up better. And it's very interesting. And as many teachers and colleagues have said, once you have one experience of projection, and then you can see yourself out of your body during the night or passing through a wall, it really changes your perspective. And then you can understand yourself as a consciousness, and then you can work with this idea and how this influences your healthcare. This is the invitation we all do here. And yes, these experiences have helped us to shape the ideas in the book and how we take care of ourselves. So it's very interesting. Thank you for the question.
Very good, Mariana and Fernanda. So this is the multidimensional way to have the perspective of assistance in the consciential paradigm. Now we have another question here, but I would like also to say that I was thinking in your speech, and I had one time a toothache, and my toothache, I had medicine in home, and I did the vibrational state, right, the energetic movement, and it relieved my pain. It was very nice because it was in the night, and what could I do in that night? I couldn't call a doctor, right? So let's go on. We have another question here. From Silverio. Why traditional medicine still doesn't produce enough material about the interference of mental health in physical health and its proper self-healing?
That's a great question, Silvério. And I will have to talk a little bit about another project that I developed for the Ministry of Health here in Brazil. It's called Evidence Maps in Complementary Therapies. And what I could tell you about this is that there is a lot of evidence. There is a lot of information about, for example, how you do meditation and how this influence your well-being, your sleep quality, or some practices from traditional Chinese medicine, for example, Tai Chi, Qigong. These practices, they really influence your well-being and your quality of sleep and your conditions to do exercise and everything. But what I think is we have this difficulty to change paradigms, to change the way we understand how these two areas connect, about how the mental health influences physical health, and also how physical health influences mental health. Because sometimes athletes that are like very much exposed to lots of exercises and lack of sleep sometimes influence their mental health. And we have seen this especially in the 2008 Olympics, where people would go to China and they'll be using like tapes and everything, and they'll be listening to music, and we start to consider the importance of these areas. So I think the first way to answer your question is that yes, we have produced enough material. And even if it's not about traditional medicine, the importance of sleep for depression, we have this information, but it's still very difficult to influence this in our own self-care. So that's maybe one of the ideas when we start to write the book, was to invite everybody to think about what is science, what is to be a researcher, and what is to be your own self-researcher. Because we need to understand what is the importance, what are the goals of an experience, of what are the objectives of this scientific paradigm, and how you can influence and consider this approach to your own self-care. So we have an individual approach here, and also a societal approach here that maybe we are still working on, but I believe we are much closer, because now we have the integrative health approach. We have many of these practices being used worldwide, and maybe that's a very big challenge for us. What do you think, Fernanda?
Yes, it's a very interesting question, because it's connected with the cosmovision of health and care we have talked about in the self-care triad. So what makes us believe in the allopathic, for example, medicines we receive in prescriptions from our doctors, our physicians? We don't go to look for the evidences. We don't know. We just believe because our culture believes these are a good option. We take the medicine and your symptoms calm down. But does it really changes our history of health? There are some new evidences about treating pain with these allopathic medicines that shows allopathic medicines are not exactly the best option, because people with chronic pain needs more and more higher doses of analgesic medicines to treat their own chronic pains. So what's going on? What's missing in this model of care? Some studies shows that back pains are much more connected to psychosocial situations than exactly to manage heavy objects. Then we have new evidences, but these evidences don't connect or don't go to the television, to internet, and we don't get this we don't get confronted or exposed to these ideas. As Peter Drucker said, that culture eat breakfast, culture eat strategy for breakfast. So we are so connected to our culture. Sometimes we don't see these changes that are happening in the health and care models. And this is why your question is very so important. We need to upload our idea, our perception of health and care all the time, because science is going really fast.
Okay, thank you, Fernanda. Now we have just another question from Simone. She's asking here, when and how did you start your research about self-care? I think at the initial you said something about that, but can you explain better? How was this starting of your research?
It's a very difficult question because we get exposed to this idea since we were very young. Our mother, instead of going only to traditional physicians, she treated us with homeopathy when we were 7, 6, 4, I don't know, a year. I don't even remember exactly the age, but this was not very common in that days to be treated with homeopathy, because our mother is a
physical educator.
Physical educator, and always very exposed. And our father comes from the land.
Germanic ascendance.
Yeah, and then when we were really young, we go to nature to get our own eggs from the chickens, and this is a very natural process. Our education in health happened together with our education as people, as citizens, and we believe was very transformative for us, because connecting different perspectives, different models of health and care was something that happened in our own life when we were very young. But I think we got more lucid, a more attempt to that when we were in the university, and you see how our perspective of health was a little bit different from the ones in some books or taught from some professionals, or even practiced in hospitals, in the university hospital. Even though there were a lot of people thinking different, this was exactly a theme talked in the classes, And how do you think, Mary?
Yes, I agree, because we were exposed, as Fernanda was saying, in a very young age. And then when we start in the university and we would be considering the importance of self-care and the quality of sleep, and this was over a decade ago, people would be like, no, we just need to take this medicine, or we just need to do this. And it was very single cause understandings of disease and health care, but we would be asking another questions and considering another approaches. And as we said in the beginning, Fernanda was 17 when she was exposed to conscientiology and started to do a volunteer work, and together I was being exposed as a younger sister, and we start to consider the importance of all these different approaches, not only integrative health, but also consciential health to self-care. So that's when we start. So before we did the book, we did many papers. So if you go to our blog, you'll see that we have papers talking about the development of research in healthcare, about the different paradigms in health, how complementary therapies in consciential health works. We have been presenting our verbets. So Fernanda presented consciential health. I presented universal humanism embracement. So we have been studying and writing, and even we have a paper about importance of a special tea that's called rooibos. It's very popular today, but when Fernanda started to drink this tea, we were like, what is this? And so we had this paper.
I'm
so
drinking now.
See, so we have been studying and writing, and then I think the moment where we are very happy about it is to be able to do the book. So here again, the book, if you're interested about it, learning more about these aspects, because when you do the book, you really feel you have these connections with the ideas, the assistant, to be able to write everything, and the opportunity to write with someone that really is part of your life. So this has been a great journey. So I think, yeah, so since ever, I would say the answer, it is, and it will continue. It's not ended. Yeah, so it's not ended. Thank you, Simone.
Your microphone, Luciano.
Ah, he's showing the book. Oh, you
your
want to
microphone
know?
is closed, Luciano. Open up. He's not listening.
Oh, you want us to explain the image of the cover of the book? Yes, maybe. So usually it's interesting because people ask us about this image that is this, you can say it's a Ouroboros. So it's a concept where we have many flowers, you can see. So this was a gift our younger sister gave to Fernanda when she was in her birthday. And then when we're thinking about the book, we were thinking about this dynamic cycle, this process of movement when you think about healthcare and especially self-care. So we thought this would be a great image to put in the cover of the book, because it really represents this idea of movement. That's why we have the self-care canvas and the FEMA method to present this. It's always happening all the time, especially when you think of a consciousness, because it never ends, right? It just evolves.
Okay, nice, very nice. Sorry, but my microphone was closed. The question was that this
telepathically transferred.
Was the fourth stage again of your FEMA method, right? That was the question, in fact. So we have the last question here from Thiago. Since we have just 3 minutes, this is a very complete and cohesive system. Does it include prevention before fixing whatever it isn't working as it should? For example, focus on diet to prevent disease instead of to fix some problem.
That's a great question, Thiago. Thank you. The best health is the preventive one. So yes, but it's a perspective to be to be practiced as a movement in the third step. So if this is your desire in the first step, so find out what do you desire. I desire to prevent this problem my family have, this tendency. I know myself, I know I like food more than I would, maybe than I should. And so you find what's going on. Then you embrace, oh, this is really me. Why do I like so much sweets? Why do I like so much pastas? I don't know. Maybe I'm looking for some comfort food, some comfort for emotions. Maybe I'm trying to get more relaxed after a very long day. Maybe I lost too much energy. I go to maybe a place that is more absorptive, and I lost energy, and I don't reorganize my energies, as Luciano said, maybe applying a vibrational state, and I use food to get more comfort. And so what limitations, what opportunities this situation brings to you? So the next step is move. What can I do about it? Oh, maybe I should choose a better snack when I feel very sick or sad or tired. or maybe I try to make a vibrational state before I go to eat, or maybe I can go and have a shower, a very refreshing and energetic shower. And the last step, you monitor it. Oh, the balance is my friend now. It's something good is going on. My weight is more organized, more stable. Okay, I'm good. Then in a year or in two, oh, I begin to eat a lot again. So let's begin again. What's going on? Find out, embrace, move again. And this is the movement.
Fernanda, very nice. But our time is ended up, and I would like to ask you both, Mariana, Fernanda, your final considerations for your speech today.
Thank you, Luciano. Thank you, everyone. We know we have a great team behind the scenes here to have this live. So I'll just invite everyone that wants to consider thinking about their self-care to look up the material on our website. Contact us if you want to check out the videos we have on the blog, so you can continue this process of self-care, and wish you the best. Thank you.
I'd like to thank you all, everybody who is here watching us and also here in this live helping. And take care of yourself, take care of the people you love, take care of what matters, what is important to you. I hope we can also apply these ideas and not only fulfill a canvas, but also live it, experience it, and make your own canvas, your own strategy, your own method, and show it to us. We would love to see it, please.
Very nice, Mariana and Fernanda. Thank you very much for your participation in this IIPC Live. And now I would like just to ask some information for the Congress. You can put that. And bye-bye.